Hello and a very warm welcome to SportsLumo's special series 50 Greatest Olympic Moments for India. I am Siddharth Viswanathan, Editor-in-Chief, and in this special episode number 45, I will be focusing on a Chak de moment in India women's hockey team. Chak de India was a film that revolutionized Indian hockey for a brief while. The protagonists, the plot was intriguing. The plot was simple. The India women's hockey team, which had not gotten so much mileage, finally rose from the ashes and delivered a World Cup winning performance. That wasn't real. But in real life, 37 years before Chak de India, there was almost that moment in the 1980 Moscow Olympics. The dominance of the India men's hockey team was very well highlighted. 7 consecutive gold medals, but they were on the decline. 1980, the India men's hockey team won the gold medal. But this little known story of the India women's hockey team is not known. They almost secured a medal. They were so close. Finest margins in Moscow was the key factor. Many nations had boycotted the Soviet Olympics because of what had happened in Afghanistan. Teams like the US, majority of the European teams had not participated. Zimbabwe, Austria, Poland, Czechoslovakia, the Soviet Union. These were the teams that India had to face in order to get that medal. It would have been an easy task, right? But India women's hockey team was struggling. They had a chance in 1980 to secure that ultimate medal, but it was so close. This is a balancing act. The India men's team finally secured glory after 16 years in 1980 Moscow. But for the India women's team, 1980 would represent a missed opportunity and 3 decades of immense pain. This episode highlights the glorious near miss of the India women's hockey team in the 1980 Moscow Olympics. The India women's hockey team at that time were dominated by the Saini sisters. Rupa Saini, Krishna Saini, Swarna Saini, Prema Saini, and they were joined by 2 other talented players in Lorraine Fernandez and Prem Maya Sonir. Rupa Saini in particular was Indian women's hockey team's greatest asset, having participated in World Cups and World Championships, and she was having over 200 caps. When she came to Moscow, she was the ace in the India women's hockey team. The campaign started brilliantly for India as they won 2-0 against Austria, and they managed to trounce Poland 4-0. Rupa Saini was at her absolute best, and it seemed the dream would be living on for India. But then 2 very tragic matches happened. The loss to Czechoslovakia stalled the India women hockey team's progress. The 2-1 loss resulted in a loss of momentum. What followed afterwards was a 1-1 draw against Zimbabwe. That changed the entire equation. The game against Soviet Union was going to be the bronze medal playoff. A win would assure India the bronze. If they lost, they would have had to settle for 4th spot and not win a medal. The odds were very high. Rupa Saini was in prime form, and around her the entire team chipped in. What would happen in the Soviet Union clash? That was going to be very, very important. There would be an early lead. There would be the realization of a dream. But what followed afterwards was tremendous heartbreak. It is a very sad chapter in India women's hockey team. It was finally here, the day of reckoning for India women's hockey team. They were facing the might of the Soviet Union in their own backyard. A win for India women's hockey team would have changed the entire landscape of Indian hockey. Can you imagine the India men's hockey team gold and the India women's hockey team bronze? It would have been a glorious sight. For a brief while, the dream was about to be realized. Rupa Saini opened the scoring. It was her fourth goal of the competition. There was anticipation. Many felt that it could be done. Years and years of neglect was finally about to be realized, and Indian hockey was about to make a gigantic statement. But big game pressure came back to haunt India. It was haunting them for decades. It again started. The relentless pressure by the Soviet Union forwards and the fullbacks meant that the Indian defense was on its knees. They really had to pull up their A game, but they could not sustain it. The Soviet Union bounced back and they relentlessly, systematically broke down the Indian defense. The India women's hockey team could not hold on and they lost in heartbreaking circumstances. The Soviet Union had secured the bronze. India finished fourth. Zimbabwe won the gold and Czechoslovakia secured the silver. It was a golden miss for Indian hockey, especially for the women. No one knew it at that time, but India women's hockey team was plunged into darkness for 36 years. They did not qualify for the subsequent Olympics from 84 till 2012. The jinx was not broken till 2016. It coincided with India men's hockey team's terminal decline from the 1980 Moscow Olympics. They did not win any medal. Their rock bottom moment came in 2008 when they failed to qualify in Beijing. The India women's hockey team are heading into Tokyo 2020 with plenty of confidence. But one must never forget the contributions of the 1980 women's team. They were this close to a medal, folks. But we hail and salute the efforts of the Saini sisters. Their relentless pursuits for women's hockey ensured that they came one step closer. Chak de India might have been produced in the 80s, but it came to fruition in the 21st century. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this special episode of 50 Greatest Moments in India's Olympic History. Press the subscribe button, tap the bell icon, like, comment and share. In the next episode, we will be talking about more such important moments in India's glorious 93 years in the Olympics. Thank you.